Yeah, you're a good girl, huh? Hi everyone, this is Jennifer Stay with Coloring Bliss, and I have a cute little Rose here with me. She was asleep behind me, and we picked her up so she could come say hi to you guys, and she's wondering what's going on. Why did you guys wake me up? Yeah, do you want to get on your pillow? See if she'll stay with us for a little bit here. There, sit down. Sit down. Anyway, welcome everybody to our weekly live event. Hey, why don't you sit down? I think she's too hot to sit up here. So why don't you just go ahead and get down? Yeah. It's really warm in here right now. In fact, I'm going to have to pull my hair up, I think, because I'm really warm. Anyway, why don't you say hi, Steve, while I pull up my hair?
Okay. Hi, everybody. Lots of highs coming in.
Oh, good.
Looks like Destan and Janelle followed us over from Facebook.
Oh, welcome.
In case you didn't know, we do every week we're here on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Mountain Time on YouTube, but we start at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, an hour earlier, there over on our Facebook page. So
yeah. We like to do it in both places because I know we have some people who prefer the YouTube platform and some that prefer the Facebook platform. So we like to kind of say hi to everybody on both places. So, but there's
Melissa and Michaela came over, and Deb and Polly. You found us very good.
Oh,
Yolanda.
Good.
So, and hello everybody else who came over on YouTube. So
yeah. There is something I wanted to say though.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
We hit 30,000 subscribers.
Oh, yeah.
Woohoo! Oh, come on. Be more excited. I'm so excited. Thank you, everyone, for all your subscribers. Thank you for subscribing. If you're new here with us, thank you so much, and welcome to our fun community. We have so much fun here, and boy, do we have the most supportive, happy, colorful community. If you haven't joined us over in our YouTube, our Facebook group, make sure you do come on over. What's the name of our group?
Facebook.com/groups/coloringpagesbliss.
Right. It's an actual group where you can come and if you have any coloring questions, we were just talking about if someone was asking about what pencils to buy, and I was suggesting if you ever have a question to go to our group and ask them because they have the best advice. Such great colorists there, and we have everyone from like really expert colorists all the way down to brand new newbie colorists, and it's such a great community. So all of you who are brand new to my channel, I really encourage you to come on over and join the community because it's so much fun.
Yep.
Such a great group. So welcome everybody. We're gonna get back into coloring. We've been experimenting with the new Winsor and Newton pencils. So cool.
I'll switch it over here for you.
We discovered those at sorry, I feel like I'm so hot. Thank you. Steve was reminding me to look at the right camera. There. Whew. It's really warm in here today. We discovered these pencils at Michael's. They are Michael's exclusive, and we don't know much beyond that because I can't find any information beyond that, like even on Winsor Newton's website. But here they are. We've already swatched them out onto my Sketch Bliss sketchbook right here. So here you can see the 24 set of color pencils. They come in 12 set, 24 set, and 36 set. And then here is the 24 set of watercolor pencils. And I hit them with water and look at all the pretty things they did. So we're going to play around with them and actually color with them next. Because we also compared them right here to the Inktense, the Crayola water-soluble pencils, the Prismacolor water-soluble pencils, and then here's the brand new Winsor Newton ones. So they're doing really good. Look how pretty. So I love that. And this is on watercolor paper right here. So I wanted to try them actually on watercolor paper, and they look really pretty. I'm really impressed. So yeah, okay. Let's see. Oh, I also wanted to mention their price. They're coming in, how much were they per tin before coupon? I'm only remembering.
They were both $40.
$40 before coupon at Michael's. That's the only place that you can get them, is at Michael's. And we got ours with the coupon. They came in at $24, so that's about $1 a pencil. So pretty reasonable as far as an artist quality line of pencils. And they are proclaiming that they are excellent light fastness. So that's good. So, but I don't have any information beyond that. So no technical, like, are they using the ASTM 6901 standard, or are they using the what's the other one, the blue wool standard? I don't know what standard they're using to measure their light fastness or anything like that, or how they compare to luminance or anything like that. I don't know any of that because they're not sharing that information yet. So hopefully someday they'll share all of that. So I'm just going to tuck some of this out of the way so I can actually do some coloring here.
Lots of nice hellos and
Hello.
Congratulations.
Thank you. We were so excited. We had that one video go viral, the one about the markers, the yucky markers. And that helped push us up over the 30,000 subscriber mark. So we were so excited. We were watching all of our numbers go up, up, up. And it was really exciting and fun. And it was just really fun to have so many new people coming in and saying hello and getting to know us. So that was good. Okay, so the difference between the two sets of pencils we have learned is that one has a gray body and one has a white body. And the white-bodied pencils are the water-soluble pencils. So that's how you know you've got your hands on a water-soluble pencil, is if it's white. I wish there had more indication. That's my one and only complaint so far. Other than that, I'm liking these pencils so far. They go down really creamy, and now I just want to see how they do in an actual coloring situation. So I have two pages printed out here. Both of these are free on our website, coloringbliss.com. So if you're looking for some fun art to download and color, come on over and download. I have a whole bunch of free coloring pages you can download. Plus, if you want to become a premium member, I have over 400 downloadable coloring pages and worksheets and things. So you can look at that too. But I have two that I printed off onto my mixed media paper. I think that will be the best paper for this. This one I picked because it has big open areas where we can play around with blending really good and see what it can do. And then this one has more small details, and we can play with washes and then going in with details. So we can do a little bit of both with these two pages. So let's start here. I need to move a few things around and make some space for myself. Okay. Some days I feel like I need a desk that is twice the size of what I have. I was telling Steve that. I can't remember if it was after the last live event. I was telling him I feel like my desk is feeling smaller and smaller lately. But I like having everything close by, so it's not such a bad thing. Okay, let's go ahead and practice doing some actual real-life coloring with these. I want to try blending just with normal pencils, and then I want to try doing some similar things with the water-soluble pencils. So, yeah, well, let's go in with the purple, don't you think? Are you guys getting sick of me always using purple? That's a legitimate question. I would like to know, are you guys getting sick of me always reaching for purple?
I think Polly doesn't like purple.
Polly,
my guess is Polly would want you to use something different.
Tell me what color you want me to use, Polly. You get to pick. First color Polly says is the color we're doing, Steve.
Okay.
Whatever Polly says. Whatever Polly says, Polly gets today. Polly's in the driver's seat here. I've got the gray ones, which are the actual color pencils. And I want to try blending a tritone blend out and see what it does on one of these petals. And whatever Polly says, we get. Unless she doesn't speak up fast enough, then I'm going in
we'll
for...
give her another...
You got a couple more seconds, Polly, than I'm picking.
See, Aizen's Hope loves purple.
And
we have Tweety that wants green, and Kathy, Funky Light likes purple as well. Janelle likes pinks. Susan says purple's her favorite color too, and Lori. And Ashley.
Do we have Polly saying anything yet, or are we just going to pick something else?
Polly says, yes, no purple, green.
Green it is. Okay, we've got some good greens here. Can we build a tritone? We had a light green here, and right before it, I used a darker green. I think we've only got enough for maybe a two-tone. We'll do a two-tone.
Stan says, I'm actually giving up going out for dinner to watch this.
Oh my goodness. Wow. I hope you're not starving.
And Carol Lee says, I'd rather a green, yellow, or orange than purple. All my purples are unused.
Oh, well, you need to use your purples. Let's see. I might throw in a bit of yellow. That might be our light tone if we throw in a bit of yellow. Ooh, that's pretty. Those look pretty. Okay. So let's do, I want a big area so you guys can see it good. How about just right here? And I'll have Steve zoom in. We're going to do Jennifer's rule of blending thirds. Would you mind zooming it down for me, Steve?
Sure.
And I'm going to try not to rush this. Although I always am tempted to rush because I want to hurry and get to the next test I want to do. So, Jennifer's rule of blending thirds. Have you guys seen that video? And I named it after myself, that rule. Because I could name it after myself, so I did. It's not a rule that I came up with on my own, but because I made the video and I'm the one that teaches it, and I get to name it after myself. Right, Steve?
Right.
Okay, first lightest tone, you color the whole area. Second or mid-tone, you come in and color 2/3 of the area. And I kind of want to come in, this is going to be not the most straightforward Jennifer's rule of blending thirds, so if you want to see a more simplified version of this rule of thirds, you probably want to go watch that video. Because we want to build up a shadow under this little part of the petal. So there's the mid-tone coming out. And then we want a shadow coming out from under here as well. So we'll have some of that mid-tone coming out this direction as well. Okay, so the reason I want to do this particular blending method is because this is a good test of a pencil. Will a pencil layer up? Some pencils, it gets to a point where it just feels like it won't accept any more layers. The waxes or the oils, whatever it is, whatever binders that pencil's using, just stops letting you layer. And it can be really frustrating. So Jennifer's rule of blending thirds is all about layering and layering to get that blend that you want. So it's a really good way to test your pencils. Okay, next layer is your darkest color, or your last third, or your next third. And you go in where you want the darkest color. So I'm coming in right along this edge where I want my shadow, and along here as well with my darkest color. And build up that shadow. So you can use Jennifer's rule of blending thirds all the time, with all different kinds of color trios. You can experiment and do weird trios too. You don't have to use a light, medium, and a dark color, although that's usually when it works the best. You can also use Jennifer's rule of blending thirds with markers, especially alcohol markers. Okay. Also, I should mention, if you like this kind of video, make sure that you have hit like and that you are subscribed. And remember that little bell when you hit subscribe, there's a drop down menu. and you can select what kind of notifications you want. So make sure you peruse that menu and select the kind of notifications you want for my channel. Okay. Now we're on the mixed media paper, which is not as toothy as my color pencil paper. So that's even testing our pencils even more. Okay, now we're going back to the mid-tone. We want to go over the whole area that we did the mid-tone before. And that's going to blend together the darker tone and build up the mid-tone a little bit more. So pretty.
Janelle says she added that page to one or two of her last two custom books.
Oh, I love this page for the big open spaces that it has. It's always one I seem to go back to whenever I want to do some just good basic, have fun blending and not have so many tiny little areas to work in. By the way, thank you for your order.
Cutie Pie Cupcake. That's a cute name.
I love it.
Asks, can you try master markers? I'm using them right now and I would love to see a review.
Master markers. Well, maybe Steve, can you write that name down? I don't think I've ever looked that one up before. Okay, now I'm back to the lightest tone. I'm going to go over the entire area with this pretty yellow. And it's going to blend all of these two colors. So all three come together with the yellow and it gives it a nice glow. Helps blend all those tones together.
Tweety wrote a nice comment for you. She says, Jen, we are the luckiest group to have such a great artist with a wonderful personality and a spouse that is so supportive.
Aw, thank you. So glad that you're here too. You guys are so sweet. And we were mentioning in the last hour how sometimes the comments can get a little brutal on YouTube. But for the most part, they're so supportive and so positive that it just washes away all the negative comments, all the support we get, and the kindness that we get from you guys. Okay, I think it did pretty good. So it had a couple things going against it. One was the paper. We're on the mixed media paper, not the color pencil paper. So it's not a very toothy paper. The other thing is it's not a light green. We've got a yellow as our light color. So we were kind of forcing a strange color into that trio, and I still think we got a beautiful blend there. The feel of them, I do think they're more of an oil-based than a wax-based pencil, although I don't know. Like I said, to me that doesn't matter. It's kind of a big deal. People talk a lot about, is that pencil wax-based or is it an oil-based? It doesn't matter to me whether a pencil is wax-based or oil-based. They're all petroleum-based products, and every pencil has a little bit of wax and a little bit of oil in it anyway. It's just the ratios are different. To me, it's all about, does a pencil blend well? Does a pencil layer good? Does it feel good in the hand? Does the pigment lay down evenly? Does it sharpen well? Those are the things that are more important to me than whether it's wax-based or oil-based. So I'm only guessing that it's oil-based just because of the feel. Feels closer to a polychromo pencil than it does to a Prismacolor pencil. So that's why I'm guessing it's more of on the oil-based side. And I'm not seeing that sheen that you get on a wax-based pencil. If I had colored this with Prismacolors, there would be a bit of a sheen that you get. So that's why I'm guessing we're more in an oil-based land. I'd love to know. Maybe we'll have to shoot off an email to Winsor Newton and see if we can't get a reply, a little bit more information on these. Like, I don't even know the size of the core. It doesn't say that anywhere. These three pencils, the cores look very centered, although I don't know, this one looks a little off too. It's what I don't like when pencils close the end caps, and I suspect they're doing it so that I can't look and judge whether their cores are centered. Sometimes I've been tempted to hack off the ends so I can look, but judging this direction, I think this one might be a little off-centered.
Put it on this one and see.
Yeah.
See if you can.
See if I can hold it. I don't know. It feels a little dark. I don't have a light straight down, so it's hard to see.
You can kind of see there, though. I could see on that one.
Can you see how the green looks just a wee bit off center?
Yeah, if you kind of go back and forth, you can kind of see a little bit side to side.
The other way, like I said, the way to see is when you sharpen it, if the wood is a little higher on one side than it is on the other, that's an indicator that it's not centered correctly. And on this green one, it's having that problem. Is it not there? Yeah. So that can be an issue when you're sharpening your pencils. If you've got one that is extremely off-centered, then it can make it so that that core is weaker and it will break, or more likely to break. Sometimes if they're just slightly off-centered, it's no big deal and you won't ever have a problem. So this one could be no issue. We'll see. As I use them more and sharpen them more, it might not be an issue. But I just did all that coloring and barely used hardly any product. So I think these pencils are going to last, excuse me, I think they're going to last quite a long time. So that's good. I like that.
Polly says, we have no electronics at the dinner table rule. My husband said if I want to catch Jennifer live, we could suspend the rule tonight. We do. You were our dinner entertainment tonight.
Oh, that's awesome. Wow, I'm honored that you suspended your no electronics rule for a little old me. Okay, what I would like to try now is to take these same 3 pencils. That's the yellow. We're going to take them in the water-soluble or the watercolor pencils and try them out together over here now. Grass and Lush Green.
I think Tina may have these. She says, I agree about the feel and that they don't break when sharpened.
Oh, yeah. I'm quite impressed. I just wish that they had... See, they're so similar. I swear I'm going to get them mixed up. Which one's water soluble and which one's not. It's just, they're just a little too similar. That's my only beef so far. And if that's my only complaint, then that's not too bad. I can live with that. I mean, they've got names, color names on them. They're doing really good. They just needed some indicator that this is a water soluble product other than just light white and light gray. Light white? Is there such thing as a light white? Okay, let's see what we can do with the water now on here and see what kind of coloring effect we can create using our water soluble, same 3 pencils here, only in water soluble. Now I don't want to like recreate exactly the same because, you know, 2 different products, we don't want the same exact look, but let's say I wanted something similar. Light yellow in the middle with going to a deeper green under the edges of this petal or whatever this is. I don't know, is that a petal? A leaf? I don't know what it is. So, but let's see what we can do here to get something similar. So I'm going to lay down some pigment. It's always hard to shift my brain over. Remember, Jennifer, this is watercolor paint now that we're working towards. Remember when you're using watercolor paint to remember that the darker the color, typically the stronger the pigment. So you need less. You don't have to lay down quite so much. So for instance, the yellow, I may need to add a little bit more.
What did Cutie Pie Cupcake says there's a green gel pen in the yellow and orange gel pen cubby. Please fix it. I have OCD. Oh. Let's see.
You're totally right. And I know why it's there. It's from when I was filming the neon pens. I was like grabbing neon, anything that would react to the neon with the black light. And All right. Better? Okay, let's go back down here now. That's hilarious. Oh, thank you for pointing that out, because that would have bugged me too. I bet if I had watched the video back, I would have been like, why did I not see that that was in the wrong place? Okay, so we're only adding a little bit of this deep green here, because I know when I hit it with water, that pigment's going to really spread. And the cool thing is we can always go add more pigment, but it's hard to take it away, although it's not impossible. Okay, building up a little bit more pigment here. So we're not trying to duplicate, but just sort of the same idea. What do they say? It's not the twin, but the sister. How's that, Steve? That's what they say about when you're drawing eyes or doing your eyebrows for makeup. You shouldn't think you're trying to make the twin. You're just trying to make the sister.
Oh, okay.
So you take the pressure off of yourself.
Cutie Pie says, yes, it's much better. Thanks so much.
Okay, let's try. I was using this brush in the first segment. Let's bring in the water brush for this segment.
Ooh, Alice says, I got my sketchbook today plus my Pentel pop pen.
Oh, double fun. I'm making sure that this brush is clean, which it wasn't. I'm so glad I checked. Jennifer, you didn't clean your brush out last time. Naughty. Okay, so I'm going to activate the light area first because I know that the dark area is going to go bonkers berserko. So, oh, so pretty. Activate the light area, then move into the mid-tone and start blending and moving it in to the center really carefully. There's one problem with water brushes is it's easy to let the water get out of control because the valve, this valve here just sort of lets the water come. I'm not squeezing it at all now. It's just sort of traveling through to the bristles on its own. So easy to let it get out of control. Now we haven't done any pre-treatment to this paper as far as any gesso or anything like that. And this is just my mixed media paper. So I need to be really careful here to not overwork this paper so the fibers don't go pilly. I'm going to add a little more water, a little more yellow, and I can feel that the paper is already starting to get a little overworked, so I need to be really careful here. Don't add too much more water. Okay. Did we create the sister? Oh, in the camera it looks really good. Up close, they look maybe more like cousins. Less like sisters, more like cousins. But I think in the camera they look like sisters. Ah, it's pretty. I like it. I think it did good. It's definitely harder to control the amount of water going onto your paper with a water brush than it would be with just a standard brush, because you can get this brush almost totally dry, where this one, that valve is just letting the water come through even when you don't squeeze it. So just a little, if you're having trouble and you're using one of these, you might want to go back and to a standard brush and try that for a while and see if you have a better experience with the standard brush.
And your water brush you just got on Amazon, right?
This one actually is from Crafter's Companion.
Oh.
This one was. But there are a lot of really good water brushes you can get. I think I've talked about this before. when it comes to water brushes, I don't think you need to go with the most expensive one, but don't go for the cheapest either. Mid-range water brush is what I would recommend. The cheapest ones I have had leaks with and caps that don't stay on correctly. But the mid-range ones work great. So
Stan likes using brushes and water. She feels like she has more control.
yeah, that I was feeling like too much water was coming through with this, especially where I'm not working on watercolor paper and I'm trying to be really careful. That was a worry with this here. So, but I do love that, you know, I don't need a little pot of water or anything with this. So that's the convenience of this is fantastic. So,
do you have the Conte color pencils?
No. Not yet.
Someone, Jay said, had asked about those, but I couldn't remember if you had those.
Yeah, not yet. Okay, the next thing I want to try is what if we go into an area and do coloring with both together and see what happens when we do both together. And for that, I want to move to our owl, our cute little owl. So I think I'll put the greens back. Thanks, Polly, for the green suggestion.
She also asked how would a blending pen work. Maybe later you can...
Oh, yeah.
Something like that.
We could do blending pencils, yep. Okay, I'm going to put these back into my tray here. Being careful. White goes into the white trays. Yeah, I see washi tape on these very soon. And gray into the grays. Okay, yep. That looks right. Okay, so I'm going to be coloring on this one next. What I want to kind of do as I hit myself with my page is a wash of color with the watercolor and then go back with the color pencils to get the little details. That's my hope here because we have a good set of colors here to play with. So let's bring in... How about Steve's favorite color? Let's go into blues since we have a lot of pretty blues here. This color is, this turquoise is calling me. Let's go for turquoise and into the actual blues. I'm just going to grab all the blues. Blues, blues, blues. We're not going to overthink colors here. I think that... sometimes there's time to be really careful with colors and other times I think it's fun to just dive in and see what happens, right? Right, Steve?
Right. Moon Pie 3 says, that is such a cute drawing.
Thank you. This is one of my favorites too. Oh, I like it. Let's see. I'm going to make his chest be this turquoise color. And since we're going to activate this with the water, these are the water-soluble watercolor pencils. I don't have to be too careful with my strokes or making sure I'm getting in every nook and cranny here. We're just going to lay down a whole bunch of pigment here. I'm doing kind of light strokes because I don't want to leave any indentations into the paper. I just want to kind of skim the paper and get the color down. And then let's go in, this is more of a purpley color. Let's get that out of there. I don't want to accidentally introduce. Let's go with these two here and use this one.
Just Stan asked, do you have all your pencil crayons in threes like you do with your polychromos?
My Prismacolors I have in tritones like that, and my polychromos are in tritones.
Is it just, yeah, it's just those two, right?
Just those two. And then if I ever get out other sets of pencils and I start working with them and find a tritone set that I like, I'll usually leave them together like that. Okay, let's activate these. So I've got a pretty, not the wettest brush, just slightly wet.
Here, I'll zoom in a bit on that.
I'm just going to, basically it's taking away the strokes. It washes away the binders of that pencil and leaves behind the pigment.
Jennifer came back. She was asking what paper you're using.
Yeah, Steve can answer that question.
Yes, it's the mixed media.
This corner needed a little bit more of the blue. Activate it. Okay, that looked good. Don't knock over the water, Jennifer. Okay, let's add in some quick shadows.
Tweety had a question. Can you use watercolors over pencils?
Yeah, think about the fact that pencils are waxy, so they're going to act like a resist. So yeah, they can go together really well. They'll just kind of wash right over your pencil marks. So just remember that as you're working with it. Okay, I'm just going over and creating a bit of a shadow here and there. Just really loose. Remember, watercolor is a really loose art medium for the most part. So embrace that. Embrace it, Steve.
I will. Rachel loves the Jane Davenport mermaid markers and pencils. She loves all their stuff.
I'm going to have to get some soon.
Yeah, they're great design on those.
Okay, being really loose, just like watercolor here. Think of watercolor. Whenever you see watercolor, it's so relaxed strokes. They let the water and the pigments kind of go where it goes, and they kind of guide it. Like I'm kind of guiding the darks into where I want it, but they don't force the pigments to do what they want it to do. They work with the pigments and let the water kind of travel the pigments around. Does that make sense? It's what makes watercolor different than other mediums. So kind of do the same thing here. Be loose with it. Let it flow and do things that you wouldn't expect. Like we've got a bit of a shadowing and granulation here. If you don't like it, go work it out a bit. But don't be too fussy here. This is part of the fun with watercolor, is to let it be loose. Okay. Then we could grab our dark blue, which is this true blue I was using, and let's come in and get the true blue out of the pencils here, the colored pencils. And I could come in now and do some details. I'm trying to decide where I want the details.
Have you heard of Faber-Castell Goldfaber colored pencils?
Are those the ones in the red packages?
J-Sid was asking if they're better than Prismacolors, but I didn't think you'd tried those.
I'm not sure. Are they the ones in the red packages? Okay.
Morticia says that Faber-Castell codes them. Red is for children, blue is for student, and crafts, and green is artist.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm using the color pencil now to go in and add the stripes in. And then if I want to go back over this again with more watercolor, I can. And this stripe won't move now because I'm using the color pencil, not the water-soluble pencil. This is why I wish the pencils were more delineated as to which were which, because I know I'm going to be using them this way. I know I'm going to be using them back and forth. Sometimes I'm going to be grabbing this one, the water-soluble one, and then back over to the non-water-soluble, and I wish there was a way. That's why I'm going to need to mark them. Okay, because now if I come in with the water-soluble true blue and go, I wish his belly had a little bit more of a shadow here. I wish I had built that up better. And I'm going to have to double check and make sure I've got the water-soluble one. But the cool thing is, because we did the stripe with the waxy pencil, not the water-soluble one, that stripe's not going to go anywhere now. And I can play with the water-soluble all I want, and that stripe stays. Isn't that cool? And they're color matched and everything. Sorry, I'm all excited.
No, that's great.
I'm getting all excited down here. Add a little bit
Alice
more.
had asked for a link in a video for these watercolor pencils. They but just so you know, Alice, they're only available at Michael's.
Yeah.
And when we checked online at Michael's, you couldn't get them. They were only available in store. I think they were out of stock or something online, or I don't even know if they're selling them online, are they?
I don't know. Sometimes when they claim they're out of stock online, it's because they want you to go into the store. I'm just guessing that's what's happening. I've run into this before